Hey, so I'm going to quickly just run through the steps on how to get the Amazon Workspaces ready so that tomorrow, which is the first full week of class, you'll be all set to run Stata code up on the Amazon Workspace desktop. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just, let's open up the desktop. So it's going to look like this. And we're going to be using, highly recommend using the Edge browser. If you don't want to use that one, you need to use Firefox. Those are the only two valid choices. So let's go to the Edge browser, and I'm going to go to the syllabus web page. And this has got the instructions, so just in case you hit this page or this page, just know that I'm right here, down here on this tab called Computing Resources for this course. So I'm assuming you can log into your desktop on Amazon. You've done step 1. So in step 2, we need to make this Edge browser your default browser. If you don't do this, you're going to have problems. So you go down to settings. So notice I did the triple dots over here. I went down to settings, and over here on the left side, we want to click on the default browser option, and you want to click on this little option here, make default. For me, it's already default, so I don't need to click it again, but you would. Okay, so I'm going to close that. Actually, probably I should have left it open. Now I'm going to go back to the syllabus. Let's see. There we go. And I'm gonna rearrange this window. So notice I'm just grabbing the edge part, and I'm gonna move it over to the edge, to the right edge. And now we're prepared to start at step number 3. Okay. So we're gonna go to the Start menu, which is this little Windows button down here in the lower left hand corner. We're going to go to Computer Science. We're going to go to Anaconda, and we're going to pick the one in the middle that's just Anaconda Prompt. We don't want the PowerShell one. Okay. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to make it populate the left hand side. That way I can easily grab commands on the right and run them on the left. Okay. So we've got that done. So now notice a couple of things in the Anaconda prompt window. Notice that this prompt is located on something called H, which is your campus network place for your personal files. And we're using the base Anaconda environment. That's a Python environment. Python's going to help us talk to Stata, but we need to create our own custom environment. And that's what we're doing over here on this first bullet point under step 3. Okay. So I'm going to copy everything here. Notice I'm not including the period at the end. And then I'm going to go over here and let's see. I'm going to do Control V to paste that in. Let's see if that'll work. Did not work. I might need to copy this again. We copy it again, and if all else fails, we can just there we go. Okay, so I did a Control V, pasted it in, and at this point, what I want to do is I want to hit Enter. All right, and very quickly you're going to get this little warning. Are you sure you want to do this? And we absolutely do want to do this. And so we type Y and then hit Enter again. This takes not so much time. Let me pause the video. So wait a minute, let's see here. All right, that wasn't bad. So again, down here at the bottom, see how it says proceed, yes, no. I'm going to type in a Y and enter. And this goes, I think it should finish in under a minute. All right, so I'll pause it. Okay, so it ran for maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and then this little thing popped up and it says, do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? And we do. Why? Because we have to be able to execute Python and Stata. So we've got to give it permissions to do this. So we're going to click yes. Okay. All right. So with that, we're all finished. Now, we just created this thing. You see over here in the dark screen on the left, it says we've got this econ 160. So what we need to do is we need to activate that. So we're going to use the command conda activate econ 160. Okay. So with that, we're now down here at this step right here, install the PyStata kernel. All right. And you know what? I'm just going to type it in because it's short enough that I can do that. Pip install nbstata. Okay. Very critical here before you hit enter. Double check that on the left-hand side, on this line down here at the bottom on the left window, that it's got econ 160 in parentheses. Okay. Then we're going to hit enter on that. All right, we got that done. Now we need to install the kernel for Stata. So we are going to, I'm just going to type it in. We're going to do python-m nbstata.install. All right. Okay, so we've got the kernel installed. Now the rest of it, we've got we're on this activate Stata syntax highlighting. That just means that for Stata commands we get different colors or fontifications. So that's going to be a nice thing. This is actually the thing that takes the longest to run. So after I paste this in and hit enter, I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back when it's finished. Again, if anything pops up saying, are you sure you want to install, yes or no, just go with yes. Okay, so wow, that took a good 4, maybe 5 minutes, but it seems like it's finished and everything is okay. So now we're down here to this step where we've got to create a configuration file for this mechanism we're going to use for getting Stata working. And so we're going to use something called Notepad++. That is installed on your machine. If you click on this little search thing and you type in Notepad, you got 2 options. Let's choose the one at the top, the ++ one, and let's open that up. All right. So I kind of want to move this over a little bit. I don't want to maximize it or anything. Basically what I'm trying to do here is I want to get this info on the right and I want to dump it in there. So I can use this little thing to copy everything there. Then I'm going to go over here. I can do an edit paste. I can do a Control V. I'll do an edit paste. Okay. And now all we need to do is we need to save this in a specific place, and that place is on the D drive in a users folder, and you're going to have a folder name there. For me, that folder name is my login name for the campus, which is RLHIC. So I'm going to save it there. Do a save as. So I'm going to choose D users. I'm going to use this little triangle thing to drill down a little more. I'm going to go to, whoa, I don't need all that. I just need to go to RLHIC. So notice it says up here, D users RLHIC. Okay. I'm going to choose, let's see. Gosh, so many choices. I think I'm going to just go with the all types. Okay. I'm going to uncheck this append extension. Actually, I'm not going to do a normal text file. I'm going to uncheck this append extension. And we need to need to use this name right here that I'm going to highlight on the right. nbstata.conf. So everything here we want to delete. I'm going to start with a period. nbstata.conf. Okay, just stare at that a little bit. Starts with a period, it says nbstata, there's another period, and then it says conf for configuration. So let's save that. All right. And at this point, we can close this window. All right, I'm going to do that. And what we want to do now is continue following along, where we should be ready to use our Jupyter prompt to talk to Stata, Jupyter to talk to Stata. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the H drive, which I am. Check it out over here on the left side. That says H. We have econ 160 there, which is everything we've been working on. And then I'm just going to issue the command Jupyter space lab. Okay. And then I'm going to hit enter. It's exciting stuff, right? So our server is starting up. You should be seeing this. And a couple of things to note, really important. I know it seems like you're done and you can stop the video, but do not stop this video. Listen to this. This window over here is actually the brains of the operation. So notice how it's talking about the server over here. This little window is actually what's running the Jupyter Lab server, and that's what's going to be talking to Stata. What that means is if you close this window, the brains is gone. This little web page over here is not going to function. So never close this Anaconda prompt window. What I would do is just minimize it. So it can go away. You don't need to look at it ever again. And now I'm just dragging this up so it takes up the whole space. We're going to go over this in class, but you can see I got a ton of stuff over here in my H drive. But the main thing that you're going to want to see is a Stata prompt. It says nbstata. So if you click on that, it's going to create a new notebook. It's going to be connecting to your kernel over here. Hopefully it's going to connect pretty fast. I'm going to pause this. Yeah, right after I hit pause, it connected. So you want to see two things here. You want to see it say Stata, nbstata, and you want this little circle to be like a little white ball. Okay. Now, if you want to get crazy and run a little Stata code, you can do this. sysuse auto. Notice how this sysuse, that's a Stata command, it's dark green. That's one of the commands we ran, gave us that functionality. So if we hold down shift and press enter, it's loading that data set. And if we want to look at averages, we can summarize it, pressing sum, and you've got Stata working on your Amazon Workspace Windows machine. All right, so I'll stop this now, and hopefully this has been helpful.